You ever watch a game where one player looks like he's auditioning for a different job, Hall of Famer, while the rest of his team looks like it's auditioning for detours? That was Sunday in Foxborough. Myles Garrett turned in a video game day. 5 sacks, relentless hunting, the kind of motor that makes you think, this guy's not missing the Hall of Fame. The scoreboard didn't care. The Browns lost 32-13 to the Patriots. Reuters, here's the brutal symmetry. Garrett single-handedly wrecked drives, created chaos, and still went home empty-handed. He set a new franchise high in sacks for a game and did everything a pass rusher can do to win you a game, and yet New England still scored 32. That tells you two things right away. Cleveland's defense outside of Garrett had holes, and the offense gave the defense nothing to work with. Fox Sports. On offense, it was another rookie learning curve that looks less like a curve and more like a cliff. Dillon Gabriel finished 21 for 35 for 156 yards, with 2 touchdown throws, but also 2 costly interceptions. One of those errors became a short field touchdown. Another turned into a safety after Gabriel was flagged for intentional grounding in the end zone. Those mistakes aren't minor. They flip momentum and scoreboard real estate faster than you can say turnover differential. Reuters. And before anyone brings up sample size or rookie forgiveness, yes, Gabriel is young, and yes, he's had brief flashes. But the Browns are 2-6, and after this loss, the pressure isn't theoretical. It's immediate. The offense couldn't consistently stretch the field. It didn't get the ball to its playmakers. Jerry Jeudy barely saw passes, and the running game wasn't a corrective. When your defense is fighting to keep you close and your offense keeps handing back points, patience becomes expensive. TribLive.com. That brings us to the loudest, messiest conversation in Berea. Shedeur Sanders. He was supposed to be the interesting wrinkle, the rookie with name recognition and a developmental ceiling, but he was inactive Sunday because of a back issue that flared up after practice. That absence matters, not because Sanders is a guaranteed fix, but because he represented a new storyline. What if we just see him? The team promoted Bailey Zappi as the backup and left the rumor mill spinning. Sports.yahoo.com. Kevin Stefanski's postgame stance was blunt and predictable. He's sticking with Dillon Gabriel for now. That's also defensible. Coaches can't change starters every week and expect continuity. They also don't want to burn a rookie by tossing him into a contest before he's ready. Stefanski said he'll look at everything, but for this moment he's betting continuity, with the obvious caveat that if Gabriel's play doesn't improve, the team will have to act. ESPN.com, let's cut through the emotional noise and map the practical options. Option 1, stay the course with Gabriel. Pros, continuity in play calling, respect for draft decision-making, and perhaps a belief that the supporting cast will gel. Cons, if the offense keeps turning the ball over and failing third downs, you keep losing. The clock and the standings don't reward theoretical upside when you're 2-6. Option 2, start Shedeur Sanders when healthy. Pros, he brings a different skill set and energy. The roster shakeup could be the spark the Browns need and would quiet a lot of outside chatter. Cons, he's a rookie who felt around 5. He hasn't played in a regular season NFL game yet, and the team just lost its chance at live reps this week because of his back. Throwing him out there without preparation could wreck his confidence and produce more headlines than wins. Option 3, bring in Bailey Zapp or another veteran as a bridge. Pros, vets can stabilize and keep the offense manageable while the rookies learn. Cons, it's a Band-Aid that doesn't solve the long-term question of who grows with the team. Those are the practical lanes. But football decisions are also cultural. Right now, Cleveland needs 2 things: clarity and accountability. Clarity means a path forward that everyone inside the building understands. Who's getting reps, who's grooming who, what the timetable is. Accountability means the coaches and front office must explain why they drafted these players and how they plan to develop them. Fans don't need spin. They need a coherent plan that feels like it's being executed instead of improvised every Sunday. Here's the cold, slightly painful truth. Myles Garrett can't carry a team to the playoffs by himself. The Browns' ceiling is determined by the offense's ability to sustain drives and protect leads, neither of which happened on Sunday. If Cleveland keeps playing like this, Garrett's monster games will feel like isolated fireworks instead of the signal of a contending team. So what should they do after the bye? Use the break surgically. Let Sanders heal, get him mental reps, install a package tailored to his strengths, and evaluate him in practice against the first team look in a controlled environment. If he's ready and shows clear advantage in practice reps, mobility, ball placement, decision-making under pressure, then give him a legitimate window. If he's merely a hype engine without clear evidence, he'll help, stick with Gabriel, but change the game plan. Simplify reads, attack more quickly, and get the ball to playmakers in high-percentage spots. Trade short-term drama for long-term process. End scene. Myles Garrett sits in the locker room, helmet off, furious, not because he didn't dominate, he did, but because dominance didn't equal victory. That frustration is the loudest signal. The Browns have a roster with top-end talent, but they're missing coherence. The easy headline is play the hyped rookie. The smarter lead is fix the offense. The Browns need both, a quarterback plan that works and coaches who can translate pass rush glory into more wins. Until then, Garrett's greatness is a highlight reel and Cleveland's record is stubbornly plain. What if October turned into a live-action drama where veterans stage comebacks, rookies spark chaos, and locker rooms leak like a sieve? 2 minutes in, and you're already behind. Let's catch up fast. Blindsided trade, instant payoff. 9 days after the Cleveland Browns shipped Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, a 40-year-old Flacco walked into Paycor Stadium and reminded everybody why experience still matters. He carved up the Steelers for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns, hit Jamar Chase early and often, and engineered a last-minute drive that ended with Evan McPherson knocking home the winner. The Bengals were lifeless without Joe Burrow. With Flacco, they looked dangerous again. Not because he's the future, but because he stabilizes the present. The trade itself was a day 3 draft pick swap, the kind of low-risk gamble that suddenly looks brilliant when an old hand turns back the clock. NFL.com, Cleveland's quarterback room is now a pressure cooker. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie who lit up college defenses and carried headlines into training camp, was promoted up the depth chart after the Flacco departure, then promptly hit with an unexpected back issue that knocked him from practice and into the injury report. It's the kind of timing that turns patience into panic. Fans want to see the electric spark. Coaches worry about preparation and optics. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel keeps getting reps and starts, but the chatter about Shedeur's future, ask for a release, demand a start, or ride the bench, will only grow louder if the Browns don't find offensive traction fast. PFSN. And then the season swerves into heartbreak. The Giants' rookie sensation Cam Scatabo, a breakout runner who brought the motor and the memes, suffered a gruesome dislocated ankle in the middle of a game against Philly. He was carted off and taken to a hospital, and the Giants have since confirmed the diagnosis. That's not just a lost player for New York. It's lost momentum for a team that built an identity around his physicality and charisma. The emotional ripple of an injury like that can change a locker room for weeks. Giants.com. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, the Rodgers storyline got complicated. Aaron Rodgers returned to face his old Packers team in a game that should have been a tidy revenge narrative. Instead, Jordan Love kept the spotlight. Love, who learned behind Rodgers, steered the Packers to a second-half surge and a 35-25 win, a reminder that the passing of the torch is more of a relay than a funeral. Rodgers looked like himself at times, but the night belonged to the new signal caller. Clutch drives, steadier protection, and the kind of second-half composure that flips the page. If you love NFL arcs, mentorship, redemption, succession, this one's got it all. ESPN.com off-field heat climbed at the end of another wild Broncos-Giants game, and it didn't stop with the scoreboard. After Denver's improbable fourth-quarter surge and walk-off field goal, Broncos linebacker Dre Greenlaw ran after a referee and was suspended for 1 game for berating and threatening the official as he left the field. The league acted quickly. Chasing or threatening an official crosses a line, and the suspension signals zero tolerance even amid playoff tilting emotions. It's a reminder that while passion fuels the sport, there are boundaries the league polices hard. NFL.com, so what ties all of this together? 2 things. Momentum. How quickly a season can tilt, and trust, who the locker room believes in when the chips are down. Flacco's instant chemistry with Chase in Cincinnati bought the Bengals breathing room. Shedeur's stalled availability turned a story of potential into a question mark. Scadabo's injury stole an identity from the Giants. Rodgers versus Love underscored that eras can invert in a single night, and Greenlaw's suspension showed the consequences when heat overtakes judgment. Here's the deeper picture. Teams survive chaos when leadership is clear and accountability is real. The Bengals made a pragmatic pivot. Take an experienced arm, give your stars someone who can find them, and stabilize play calling. The Browns are paying for indecision and damaged draft capital. Without a steady quarterback narrative, every loss magnifies the noise. The Giants now must replace not just yards, but the emotional engine Scadabo provided. And coaches everywhere watch other locker rooms and ask, do I have players who will step up without the headlines? Do I have veterans who calm the room or amplify the panic? A few quick, actionable lines for narrative fuel if you're telling this story on camera. The Flacco chapter is about urgent pragmatism, not flashy long-term fixes, but stopping the bleeding now. The Browns subplot is a slow-burn drama, talent versus trust. Shedeur's story is no longer hypothetical. It's a clock. The Giants' setback is human. Someone the city fell in love with got hurt, and the team must prove it can pivot emotionally and schematically. Rodgers